Hi everybody and welcome back, and today I am taking a look at Blueprints. Now, I hadn't really heard anything about this game until I saw a review for it the other day, which seemed to think it was very good, and it did sound like it might be up my street. Some sort of puzzle game, I think, but I know almost nothing about it. I saw the review and sort of read the little bit at the top which seemed to suggest it was worth a look. I didn't read any more because I thought I don't want to know exactly how it all plays out. I want to go into it knowing as little as possible before I start. So that is what I am doing. It does mean that this could be a somewhat painful process depending on how complex the puzzles involved in this are. But we'll see how we go. Let's get started.
I, Herbert S. Sinclair of the Mount Holly Estate at Reddington, do publish and declare this instrument my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all wills and codicils heretofore made by me. I give and bequeath to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, son of my dear niece, Mary Matthew, all of my right, title, and interest in and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within a timely manner. Should my grandnephew fail to uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 18th day of March, 1993. Herbert S. Sinclair.
Okay, so I assume I am was it a great nephew, something like that, who has been left this house in the will of Herbert Sinclair. But I have to discover the 46th room of this 45-room mansion. And if I can't, I don't get the house, right? Interesting. So this is the hall. Pictures of playing cards. Right, so we've got 3 doors which I can interact with. 8:10. Is that in the morning? Probably in the morning, isn't it? It wouldn't make sense to turn up here in the evening. So, okay, so we've got a note there, and we've got a couple of things on the table. I guess I should read these. Right, let's have a look at this. Open only in the event of my death, which presumably has now happened. Simon, that's my name, right. Welcome to Mount Holly. You may not remember, but I have fond memories of your many visits here as a young boy, and I hope these rooms provide you with as much amusement as it did in those lost summer days. By the time you read this, I will assume you're fully aware of my last wishes and all the details of my bequest. Please do not mistake my intentions in giving you this challenge as a lack of confidence. I assure you, nothing could have been further from my mind when I chose you as my heir. With that said, there are a few ground rules of this commission covered in the fine print of my will that I feel I should bring to your attention. No tools or items may be brought onto the estate from the outside. Tools and items found on the estate may not be taken off the estate. You may not stay overnight. I don't suspect any of these stipulations should prove an impediment for someone as resourceful as yourself, but it's very important to me that you start fresh each morning and not rely on the successes of the previous day. One final word of advice: do not assume the rooms you find today will be the same rooms you find tomorrow. These grounds have provided me a home for the last half-century, and even I am uncertain of which room lies beyond any particular door. Your grandmother used to say, don't go where the path leads, abandon the path and go where you want it to lead. With all my love and wishes, best of luck, Herbert S. Sinclair. Okay, interesting. And this looks like a blueprint. Okay, you found the Mount Holly blueprint. This will serve as a useful map and inventory log during your adventure. Right, okay, so entrance hall. That's where I am, right? Okay, yeah. Entrance hall. Past the steps and beyond the grand doors, admission to Mount Holly is granted by way of a dark and garish lobby, suitably called the entrance hall. From here, each guest's adventure begins. However, the 3 doors that proceed onwards do not always lead to the same adjoining rooms. Okay, so type permanent, blueprint, rarity not applicable. But then there are other rooms. But this is room 2 then, or 002. So there are all these rooms. Room 46 is the one I'm after. The antechamber is the other one that was on the blueprint. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Bedrooms, hallways. Okay, none of these have anything of note. So yeah, the antechamber is also on here, and it's at the opposite end. Okay. Antechamber. From its root meaning the room before, all signs and paths point toward the antechamber. This mysterious sealed room, resting on the 9th rank, may prove, however, quite an initial challenge to even reach, let alone enter. Still, you can't help but draw a connection between this chamber and room 46. Type blueprint objective. So, is my objective to get from here to here in some way? Through other rooms, and then somehow from there might be some connection between that and room 46. So okay, right, well, fine. So let's something else here. Searching the estate can be exhausting. Each time you enter a room, you will lose one. Oh, right, that's this thing, 50. So every time I enter a room, this drops by 1. When you no longer have any footsteps left, you'll be too tired to continue searching the manor and must call it a day. Right, so I only get 50 of these. Feels like that should be doable. Although, what happens... Does this also apply every time you enter a room if I have to go back into a room that I've already entered? Does that take one off again? We'll find out, I'm sure. Okay, and then when I call it a day, that's what he was saying about how you can't stay overnight. So I will then leave and come back the following day. But the rooms might be different. Was that the general gist? Right, okay, never mind. So I guess we just pick a door and see what happens. So let's try here. Right, select a room to draft. Okay, I can put... Oh, right, so I can pop that on here. Whenever you enter this room, gain 2. Okay, so I can increase this by going into a bedroom. Closet. Doesn't feel like that's very useful. 2 items, though. Or there's a hallway. The hallway has 3 doors. So if I did a hallway, I'd come in 1 door, there'd be 2 other doors. Okay, should we do that first and just see what happens? Okay. Right, so there's my hallway. Yeah, and my counter's now gone down to 49. Rosary and a crowbar. Interesting art. And now we've got 2 doors again. Okay, does it tell me? Right, it does tell me about hallways. Right, one of the many nondescript hallways snaking through the estate and providing elegant causeways between the more noteworthy destinations that the house has to offer. Rarity commonplace. Drafted 1 time. Okay. Fine. So now I've got a hallway here and I've got a door that will go into this corner or one that comes up here. I guess... Oh, is that something on the... That is something on the table. Doors in the west wing are more likely to be locked. So is this the west wing? Assuming that this is north and that's south, which is a bit of an assumption, but I'm going to work on that basis, otherwise telling you west is not wildly helpful. So is this west and this east? So is it doors over this side more likely to be locked? Can I find keys? I should keep an eye out for things, shouldn't I? Right, well let's try see what this corner one gives me as an option. Right. So we can have a guest bedroom which only that's plus 10 footsteps. Okay. But that doesn't look like it's got another door going out. We can have a nook, which would have a door, plus 1 key. Oh, right. Would that help me to open a locked door if I come across it? Maybe. Or a pantry that gives me 4... I don't know, they're either coins or coasters. Probably coins. Well, let's get the nook, because I feel like having a key, just in case I do come across a locked door. At the moment I've got nothing at all, so let's do that. Given I've got a lot of these at the moment, let's not do the guest bedroom for now. And all of these, well, this one's a dead end, but these 2, it looks like I will come in here and there'll be a door, so they both fit in the corner. Okay, let's do a nook. Okay, so there's my key. Right, so I've now got one key. I don't know if do I need different keys for different doors? Okay, is there anything else in here? There is another note. A journey noteworthy. As you continue on your adventure, you may want to consider getting something to scribble down your notes and observations. Ah, right. Yes, I don't currently have anything. Pad, scrap of paper, or perhaps most fittingly, a journal will prove to be an invaluable tool you will not regret having beside you on your journey. Okay, I might need to find one of those, but rather than me getting distracted yet, let's just push on for now and worry about that later. Okay, so we've got a bedroom, we've got another corridor, or we've got a pantry. Corridor is always left unlocked. So you can't have locked doors if you go into a corridor, right? Let's do a bedroom and just see what's in there. Corridor feels like there's not going to be anything else of note, is there? So let's do the bedroom. Yes, and that's given me 2 extra. Okay, what have we got here? Greetings from Reddington. Is that where we are? Okay, is that useful? Ah. Okay, I'm going with coins then rather than coasters, judging by the size of them. So I've got 3 coins. I don't know what they're for. Photo of a woman. Not. Oh, I didn't read the thing about the nook, did I? Okay, so woman, if she's wearing some sort of, is that like a moon necklace? Maybe. These possibly are the sort of things I should be taking notes of, shouldn't I? Okay, yeah, if I go nook, yes. What did it say? A snug corner reading room which serves as a quiet, private place for guests to spend a few hours of their afternoon away from the hustle and bustle of the staff. Right, that is commonplace. Type blueprint. There must be other types. So far I think everything's been a blueprint. And then we've got bedroom. A familiar room that you may have slept in at some prior visit in the past. Like most bedrooms of the estate, these quarters offer you a little rest and recuperation during your long days exploring the surrounding rooms. Okay, so this one is not a blueprint. Don't quite understand the distinctions there. Entry. Type entry. Is that because that's when I enter it I get something? Is that what that means? I guess we just keep an eye out for other ones. That's kind of weird. Okay. So now this one here, well, let's, so there should be a door because the hallway here has a door here, right? So if I made this one of these, for example, what would happen to that door? Does it just get blocked or something? Then we've got a closet. Whereas the den, I could continue onwards. I'm tempted just to find out what happens. Or is that silly just to block up doors just for the sake of it? Although maybe now is the time to do it if you're going to. Should we just see what happens if I do a lavatory? Does it block that door? Because there'll be no way out. I'll have to backtrack to the entrance hall anyway. Okay, let's. I just feel like I'd like to know. I could do the closet though instead, which has 2 items in it. Tell you what, let's do the closet then. See, this might not be the way you would normally do things because it feels like, yeah, there would have been a door there. Right, 2 items. What is that? Gem of some sort? Okay, guessing that. Oh. And a heavy sledgehammer can shatter padlocks on locked trunks. Right. Okay. So that's my 2 items. I haven't come across any locked trunks. Right, so when I go... Yeah, so this... Okay, so that did go back down to 1 when I came in here, but because it's the bedroom, it goes back up 2 again. Right, okay. Let's just check then what happens to this door. Okay, right. So because I built this without a door, that means this one just gets blocked off. So that's kind of a waste, isn't it? To do that. But I felt like now was the time to find that out. So let's go back in here and maybe go the other way. Now, it did say that the rooms over this side are more likely to be locked, so let's try heading for this corner. So, a storeroom, that's probably not a great plan because it's a dead end again. There's a pantry. Again, it feels like a corridor might be the best plan. And then put something in the corner. I mean, you could do a pantry, I suppose, and put some dead end. I'll tell you what, let's do the pantry for now. And just see if there's a way of getting some room into the corner. Okay, so these ones do have... Oh, an apple. Oh! Okay, so that's given me 2 steps as well. And more coins. Bridget, please pick up some more fruit before Friday, as we have just been informed that we may have an extra guest exploring the house next week. 50 steps should be more than enough, so I think an even spread would be ideal. 5 apples, 5 bananas, 5 oranges. The enclosed amount should cover expenses, but please bring back any change from the order and leave it in the pantry. So that's what that change was. Okay. Does that mean that there will be... I've picked up 1 apple. Are there bananas and oranges knocking around somewhere as well? Okay, anything else? Can I do anything with the ladder? No. Okay, what did it say? I didn't read. Again, I'm hopeless at reading these. Right, closet. A very modest recessed space used for storage. This particular closet is favoured by the junior members of the staff, who utilise it to snash away assorted articles and knickknacks, whose proper place in the estate is yet unknown to them. Blueprint dead end. Well, it was a dead end, that is true. And we've got a pantry. Well-stocked pantry is always the true test of a large estate, and keeping Mount Holly's wide gamut of ingredients and supplies stocked has always been one of the primary priorities of the house staff. Okay. Well, I think we've found what there is. So, we've got a chapel. Whenever you enter a chapel, you lose 1 coin. Now, I do have plenty of coins. And that's got 3 doors, which is good. There's also the den, which gives me +1 gem. Presumably, it'll add on to that. I don't know what they're for. Oh, wait a sec. Gem requirements. So to do this, I need a gem to do it, right? That's probably what that means. I don't want to do that one because that's another dead end, so I probably don't want that. Tell you what, let's put the den for now then, because it gives me some options. very large clock. More clocks. Somebody's got a bit of a thing about clocks. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 clocks in this one small room. One of them almost half a wall worth. Okay. What is that? Okay, that's my gem. Fine. Nothing in the fireplace? No. Okay, what does the thing say about the den? A more traditional family room, warm and inviting, so comfortable one might assume, but the countless clocks surrounding the sofas are placed in a futile attempt to avoid inevitably wasting the entire day here. Okay, fair enough. Right, so I came in from here. So let's try and do this and see if I can just get a sort of dead end one in there, maybe. So we've got a parlour, that would work. Lavatory's just a dead end. That one, if I do that, I've got no way of getting anything in that corner. Items for sale. I mean, it's interesting. Parlour has a jigsaw piece. Not sure what the significance of that is, but that would seem to be the obvious one to do here. So let's do that. We have some boxes. Right, that is Herbert, isn't it? Okay, we've got... You found a rather curious wind-up key, a component of the parlour game. Right. This presumably tells me about it, okay? May the 2nd. Dear Herbert, it was a great honour receiving the invitation to dine at your estate with the Oldhams this past Thursday. If I'm being frank, it had been quite a while since we had been seen in decent society, and we were beginning to worry that my wife's wit had lost its charm. I have no delusions that my company is rival to hers. If I can refresh your memory, we both spent much of that evening discussing our mutual love of games and puzzles, and I had mentioned to you a rather singular parlour game I had played some years back, involving 3 boxes of different colours. You had pressed me to write with the particulars of this game when I found the time, and I have included with this letter all the details you will need to share with guests should you be inclined to play this confounding game. Always your friend, M. Lowry? Right. There will always be at least one box which displays only true statements. There will always be at least one box which displays only false statements. Only one box has a prize within, the other 2 are always empty. Right. This box is the black box. Okay, that's definitely not the black box, right? So that one's not true. This box is the blue box. That's also not true. The box that claims to be black has the gems. Okay. What did it say again? So, at least one box is definitely true. And there's at least one box which is definitely false. That does suggest there could be more than one box which is false, but one of them has to be true. But yeah, that's just definitely false, right? It's not black. And that one is definitely false as well. because it's definitely not blue. So that means this one must be true. The box that claims to be black has the gems, which is this one. That one must be telling the truth, which means this one must have the gems. Yes. Okay, 2 extra gems. Got it. Right. Okay, what did it say in here? This cosy lounge furnished with couches and armchairs serves as a perfect social setting for receptions and after parties. Consequently, this was one of the most popular rooms for entertaining, and the late H.S. Sinclair was known to supply a myriad of parlour games to encourage his guests to think and conversate. Type puzzle. Okay, that's what that means. So there'll be some sort of puzzle in the room. And blueprint. Right. Oh, I've only just noticed that this actually does show where you are in case you couldn't remember. Right, so I came in here so I can put a room in this corner now, right? So this now, there's nothing else. So there's no point putting a boudoir or an office. That's sort of I'm going to end up with a blocked door. Oh, gem requirement 2. That presumably requires 2 gems. This one doesn't require anything, but it feels like a storeroom makes more sense here, right? Just in this corner, and then we can backtrack through the den. Okay, let's stick a storeroom in here then. Okay, there's a coin. It said there should be a few items in here. We have a key. Okay, it's just showing sort of 2 keys, so I'm guessing keys are just kind of universal. A lot of these large chess pieces. And a picture with a number 10 tag on it. Is that sort of thing going to be significant? That's what I wonder. These are the sort of things I should probably be taking notes of, right? Okay, so storeroom. This probably doesn't say a great deal. Dedicated storage space filled from end to end with a surplus of chairs, carpets, paintings and a handful of other things that had at one time been in vogue and on display elsewhere in the house. Right, so we've got a key, a gem and a coin. We found all of those. Fine. Let's backtrack then. Back into the den and then head this way. Now this one here, we've got it should also have a way in from the entrance hall. Ah. Okay, that's not going to work though, is it? Because the guest bedroom... Okay, these are not good options actually. Okay, can I... Okay, can I change my mind and not come to this room? Because none of these are going to allow me to get any further. The guest bedroom only has 1 door. The spare room only has a door at the other end, as does the corridor, neither of which work because of the closet. Okay, but I don't think... Okay, I've got an inventory. Okay, I don't think it's going to allow me... I don't think it's going to allow me to go back. I wondered if I could go back to the entrance hall and try and do something this side instead and come up with different options. But it feels like having come here... Yeah, unless there's something I'm missing, it's not giving me the option to do anything different. Oh, that's a shame. Okay. Well, I mean, let's stick the guest bedroom for now, but yeah, okay. So I've got a whole load of steps, but I don't think I've got anywhere I can go with them. That's another gem. We do have a note though. Sinclair, just wanted to write you a quick note thanking you for your weekend. I had a thrilling time on the hunt with Lord Evanson, whose peculiar personality somewhat made up for your own absence. I also got to appreciate your new game in the billiard room. It's been ages since I've seen the billiard room in the house. I was beginning to suspect you retired the floor plan. It was well worth the wait, though, as I always enjoy your mathematical puzzles and appreciated that I didn't need to know the rules of darts to play your variation. Hoping your health improves shortly. Right. Dog? Probably a dog. Okay, but I don't think there's anywhere else to go. Right. Yeah, so I've ended up with them all closed off. So I've got 2 layers in and have run out of rooms. That's unfortunate. Well, I've also learnt then that you can't. What I can't do, I can't select a door, see what options it gives me, and then go, oh no, hold on a second, I'd like to choose to do a different door, because I don't. Well, unless I didn't find it, it didn't give me the option to back out, and now this one is blocked up. Okay, that's a little frustrating. Okay, well, you live and learn. So I guess I need to just call it a day. Just okay. I can leave the house. I was sort of expecting it to sort of like go. Oh right, is that you've called it a day by doing that? Does the outside of a house change based on what I've done? So I had, can I still see this? I've got a hallway and a nook over this side. See, that doesn't look like a hallway, does it? Okay, who knows? Okay. So I can't go over the ground. So I am allowed to wander out here. Okay, and there's paths and things going that way, and I don't. It's not offering me the chance to use a key or anything on it. Okay, so it's not just make a wish. Okay, I can toss a coin in. Well, I've got a load of them. I wish I could go in and change one of the rooms. No. Okay. Okay, this is quite precipitous. Right, there is way more out here than I was anticipating. Right, that's a blocked up. That looks like a track, like a. It's too small to be for trade. It's like is it a mine? Odd place to put a mine. There's also a somewhat odd place to have pipes. What are those doing? Okay, there's all sorts of stuff down there. Okay, this is a little creepy and extremely dark. I don't have a torch. Oh, is that... If I had something, could I light that so I could see what I'm doing? There's also boxes in the way, and I can't jump, so... But there are two what look to be sort of torches. Yeah, okay. Well, let's just have a look what else was up here. That is a very odd shaped mountain. Now, this gate is open, so I should be able to get through here. I'm guessing no, because I can't jump. I can't go climbing off. Okay, so I'd assumed that I was just going to be wandering around the house, but there's way more stuff out here. Right, that gate is closed. Now, does that mean I can't get through here? Yes, doesn't even give me the option to try it. Okay, a campsite. Is this where I'm staying the night because I'm not allowed to stay in the house overnight? So I'm camping in the gardens. For campsites, due to the rules set forth in your great-uncle's will, you are not allowed to stay in the estate overnight. Luckily, however, your scouting skills have been put to good use to fabricate a very respectable off-site sleeping quarters. You may call it a day at any time from the blueprint menu to return to the campsite for the night. Okay, so this is where I'm stopping for the night. Fine. I mean, it's quite pleasant, I suppose. Okay, that's got a combination lock on it. I mean, quite frankly, I could almost step over this fence. There's a lot of apples. They did give me lots of steps. Okay, and this, that doesn't look like that's going anywhere. Yeah, it feels like I should be able to just step over that, quite frankly, but not going to let me. And there's something over here, which again I'm going to guess is not accessible. It looks like a bunker. Yeah, closed. And no indication of how it opens. Right, well, not the most successful exploration of the house, but you've got to start somewhere, I guess. So I guess it's time to call it a day and come back tomorrow. Day 1, Mount Holly, snug little cottage, total rooms 11, rank reached 1, steps taken 23, items found 1. So this is all I managed to achieve. Okay, a snug little cottage. Yeah, must do better.